Welcome back to Culture Code English. I am so glad you're here today. Take a slow, deep breath, let your shoulders drop, get completely comfortable and relax. Today, we are going to explore a very interesting and warm topic: why Americans are incredibly friendly, but sometimes very hard to truly get close to. Imagine this. You are walking down a quiet street in a small American town, or you are waiting in line at a grocery store in New York. As you walk past a complete stranger, they suddenly catch your eye. They do not look away. Instead, they give you a big warm smile, wave their hand and ask, "Hi, how is it going?" Or perhaps you're checking out at a supermarket and the cashier asks you with genuine energy, "How is your day going? Do you have any fun plans for the weekend?" If you come from a culture where people do not usually talk to strangers, this experience can be deeply confusing. At first, you might feel wonderful. You think, "Wow, people here are so friendly. This country is filled with warmth and love. It must be so easy to make lifelong friends here." But as the months pass, you begin to notice something strange. You have many short, friendly conversations with neighbors, coworkers, and classmates every day. But when you try to invite them to hang out, or when you want to talk about deeper personal things, an invisible wall suddenly appears. They are still polite, they are still smiling, but they keep a clear, respectful distance. Why is it so easy to make friendly acquaintances in America, but so difficult to make deep, intimate friends? In cross-cultural psychology, there is a famous and beautiful theory that explains this phenomenon. It is called the peach and the coconut model. The United States is the ultimate example of a peach culture. Think about a fresh, ripe peach. What is it like? A peach is soft and sweet on the outside. You can easily bite into it. Americans are just like peaches. Their outer layer is incredibly soft, sweet, and accessible. They smile easily at strangers. They share basic details of their lives on the first day of meeting you. They are helpful, polite, and very friendly. This soft shell makes daily life in America feel warm and welcoming. But if you bite deeper into the peach, what do you find? You find a very hard, solid pit in the center. This hard pit represents the private, protected zone of an American's personal life. It contains their deepest thoughts, their real struggles, their family secrets, and their true, intimate relationships. While they happily welcome you into their soft, sweet outer shell, entering that hard, central pit is a completely different story. It takes months, sometimes years, of shared trust to crack that inner shell. Understanding this difference is the secret to navigating American daily life without feeling hurt or rejected. Let us dive into the first rule of the peach culture: learning how to handle small talk. In many countries around the world, language is very literal. If someone looks at you and asks, "How are you doing today?" or "How is it going?" they genuinely want to know about your life. If you are having a difficult day, you tell them. If you're feeling sick, you explain your symptoms. To do anything else would feel dishonest. But in the United States, "How are you?" is not a literal question. It is not a medical inquiry or a deep check-in. It is simply a physical wave made of words. It is a verbal handshake. When an American cashier, a waiter, or a stranger on the street asks you, "How is it going?" they are not inviting you to share your deep, private feelings. The culturally expected answer is always short, positive, and fast. "Good, thanks. How about you?" Or "Pretty good, how are you?" That is all. It is a social dance. By keeping your answer light and positive, you are respecting the soft outer shell of the peach. But if you try to give a detailed, honest answer about your personal struggles, you are accidentally trying to push into their hard central pit too quickly. This creates a moment of sudden, awkward silence. Let me tell you about Kenji. Kenji was a newly arrived student from Japan. One rainy Tuesday, he walked into a local pharmacy. He had a mild cold, his throat was sore, and he felt a bit miserable. At the checkout counter, the young cashier gave him a big, warm smile and asked, "Hi, how's it going today?" Kenji was deeply touched. He thought, "Wow, people in this town are so incredibly caring. This stranger genuinely wants to know how I'm feeling." So Kenji took a deep breath and began to explain his situation. "Well," he said, "actually I have a terrible runny nose, my head hurts, and I did not sleep well last night. I am trying to find some cold medicine, but..." As Kenji was talking, the cashier's smile froze. Her eyes looked slightly panicked. She was polite, but she did not know what to say. There was a long line of busy customers waiting behind Kenji. She awkwardly looked down, scanned his items, and whispered, "Oh, sorry to hear that, your total is $12. Kenji walked out of the pharmacy feeling confused and embarrassed. He thought, why did she ask if she did not actually care? Later, Kenji's mentor explained the secret of the peach culture. "Kenji," the mentor said, "she was not asking for a medical report. She was just saying hello. When you gave her a detailed answer about your illness, you crossed her personal boundary too quickly. Next time, just smile and say, 'Good, thanks.'" The next day, Kenji went back to the store. The cashier asked, "How's it going?" Kenji smiled and replied, "Good, thanks. How about you?" The cashier replied happily, "Great, have a nice day." Kenji realized that "how are you" is not about sharing truth, it is about sharing warmth. Once he understood this social code, daily life in America became simple, smooth, and completely stress-free. Now, let us explore the second part of the model, the hard pit in the center of the peach. Once you understand how to navigate the soft, sweet outer shell, daily life in America feels wonderful. You have pleasant small talk with your neighbors. Your coworkers smile and say, "We should totally get coffee sometime," or "Let's hang out soon." For many immigrants, this feels like an official invitation to become close friends. You wait for them to call you. You expect them to set a date. But days, weeks, and even months pass and nothing happens. You begin to feel rejected. You think, "Did I do something wrong? Why did they say they wanted to hang out if they did not mean it?" But please, do not take this personally. In the peach culture, phrases like, "We should get coffee sometime," are often just another way of saying, "I like you and I wish you well." It is a polite, warm gesture. Unless they suggest a specific time and a specific place, it is not an actual invitation. It is simply a friendly sound wave. This is where you meet the hard pit of the peach, the American boundary of privacy. In many cultures, inviting someone to your home is the very first step of making a friend. You cook a big dinner, invite your new acquaintance over, and talk for hours. But in the United States, an American's home is their private fortress. It is the center of their hard pit. They rarely invite casual acquaintances or coworkers into their homes. Their home is a sacred space reserved only for their family and their most intimate long-term friends. Americans also divide their lives into very clear compartments. They have work friends, gym friends, neighbor friends, and family. A person can be incredibly friendly to you at the office, but the moment the clock strikes 5, they go home to their private compartment, and their connection with you temporarily pauses. This is why many immigrants experience the American friendship paradox. You are surrounded by 100 people who smile at you, but you feel deeply lonely because you do not have a single friend you can call in an emergency. Cracking the hard pit of the peach takes time, shared experiences, and patience. You cannot force your way into an American's private life through casual conversations alone. You must build trust slowly. One of the best ways to crack the shell is by joining structured, shared activities, like a local sports club, a weekly book club, or volunteering. When you share a common purpose over many months, the hard shell naturally begins to soften, and you are slowly welcomed into the center of the peach. To truly understand the peach culture of America, it is incredibly helpful to look at its complete opposite, the coconut culture. If the United States is a peach, countries like Germany, Russia, Poland, and parts of Northern Europe and East Asia are coconuts. Think about a coconut. What is it like? A coconut has a very hard, rough, and thick outer shell. It is difficult to crack, and it does not look welcoming. People from coconut cultures act just like coconuts. When you walk down the street in Germany or Russia, complete strangers will not smile at you. If you make eye contact with them, they might look away in silence. If you smile at them anyway, they might look at you with suspicion. They think, "Why is this stranger smiling at me? Do they want something from me? Are they crazy?" In a coconut supermarket, the cashier will not ask about your weekend plans. They will simply scan your grocery items quickly, tell you the total price in a neutral voice, and hand you the receipt. There is no small talk. There is no soft, sweet outer shell. To many Americans or warm-natured travelers, people from coconut cultures can seem incredibly cold, rude, and unfriendly. But this is a major misunderstanding. Once you take the time, the patience, and the effort to crack that hard outer shell. Once a coconut person gets to know you, trusts you, and accepts you as a friend, something beautiful happens. You break through the tough outer husk, and you find a rich, sweet, and incredibly loyal center. In a coconut culture, once you're accepted as a friend, you're a friend for life. They will invite you to their home for dinner immediately. If you need help moving your heavy furniture, they will show up at your door at 6 in the morning with a truck. If you're going through a difficult crisis, they will stay up all night to listen and support you. Their loyalty is absolute. So, let us compare the two paradigms. In a peach culture like America, the first step of friendship is incredibly easy, but the final step to the core is very hard. In a coconut culture, the first step is very difficult, but once you crack the shell, the core is completely open and sweet. Neither culture is better or worse than the other. An American is not fake just because they smile at you but do not invite you to their home. A German or a Russian is not cold just because they do not smile at you on the street. They are simply operating under completely different cultural codes. When you learn to decode these cultural fruits, you stop judging people, you stop feeling rejected, and you can finally enjoy the unique sweetness that both peaches and coconuts have to offer. How can you use this knowledge to navigate the American peach culture? The secret is simple. Enjoy the soft, sweet outer shell, but respect the hard pit. When you go about your day in America, enjoy the warmth. Smile back at the strangers who make eye contact with you on the street. Share a friendly joke with the grocery store cashier. Have pleasant, light conversations with your coworkers in the break room. Do not think these interactions are fake or meaningless. They are beautiful, simple gifts of human warmth that make daily life pleasant and safe. But at the same time, respect their hard central pit. Do not expect deep, lifelong friendships overnight. Do not feel hurt or rejected if a friendly coworker does not invite you to their home for dinner, or if your neighbor does not share their private struggles with you. Understand that their boundaries are not a wall of rejection. They are simply a cultural code of respect and privacy. Be patient. Let the trust build naturally over time through shared activities, hobbies, and consistent, small moments of connection. Look how far you have already come in this video. You have been listening to this real, natural, and deep English story for many minutes now. You did not have subtitles on, and yet you followed the narrative effortlessly. Your ears are naturally adapting to the speed, the intonation, and the flow of the language. You are doing an amazing job. Be patient with your brain. Language learning is not a sprint. It is like watching a beautiful fruit tree grow. Every story you listen to, every cultural blueprint you explore, and every minute you spend here is quietly building your ear muscles and making you a stronger, more confident English thinker. Consistency is the ultimate key to success. You do not need to study for hours until you feel completely exhausted. Just 10 or 15 minutes of active, quiet listening every single day is enough to create extraordinary results over time. If you enjoyed discovering the secret of the American peach culture today, and if you're ready to make mindful listening a normal part of your daily English journey, I want you to make a simple, beautiful promise to yourself. Leave a small mark of your progress in the comments below right now. Type "I am learning" every day in the comments. By writing these 5 words, you are telling your brain that you are growing. You are celebrating a small victory on your path to natural fluency. Thank you so much for spending this peaceful, meaningful time learning with me today on Culture Code English. Keep listening, keep practicing with patience, and never lose your curiosity. I look forward to exploring another beautiful piece of our world with you very soon. Have a wonderful, relaxing evening, and keep using English every single day.